Hi, and welcome to HostRooster.com. My name is Jodie Jones, and I'm your host for today on HostRooster.com. So, just going to tell you a little bit about HostRooster. HostRooster is the place where people come to name their ideas, build a professional website, attract customers, sell their products and services, and manage their work. So, our mission is to give our customers the tools, the insights, and the people to transform their ideas and personal initiative into success. So, we're on a mission to empower our worldwide community customers and entrepreneurs everywhere by giving them all the help and tools they need to grow online. But before we get started and go into HostRooster.com and this interview, which we're about to do, I'd love for you to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell so that you never miss a video that's posted. So without further ado, let's get started. So today we are joined by Anthea Barkley. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself in a moment and a little bit about her business and her journey into entrepreneurship. She's a great friend of mine, and I would like to welcome Anthea onto today's program. So welcome, Anthea. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jodie. My pleasure to be here with you.
Okay, thank you. So, Anthea, do you mind giving us a little bit introduction about yourself and about your business? Do you mind telling us about what was the inception of your business, how it came about?
Okay, well, my business is Anthea Speaks. I'm a creative consultant. My creative output is normally poetry or, and writing. I also do some copywriting as well, but, writing, speaking, and some public speaking. And as you know, in my former career, I was a teacher, and then I worked with the social services sector, took a career break, and now I work as a creative. And I think it's something that I've always done. I've always written poetry, always performed. But I think, I think lockdown made people think a lot, didn't it, in general? But for me, my brother died the month that COVID was found. Not that he died from COVID, but it was still very sudden. And that made me do a lot of soul searching. And I said, life's short. Let's do the things that you love. And I went in and became a poet creative.
Okay, so that's the inspiration really
Yes, that's the inspiration.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. So how long has it been? You said your brother died and that's when you got inspired. What year was that? Because I know we was in
2019. It was December 2019. Yeah.
Okay, so that's when it started.
No, I didn't start then. I think no, I didn't start then. I started probably a year, 2019. 2020 was lockdown. 2020 was lockdown, and I also had a baby. And then I think I started 2021.
Okay, so 2021. Okay. So so almost 2 years, because we've obviously just started into 2023, right? So almost 2 years. So what has been some of the hurdles that you've encountered or the pitfalls?
Well, I think for anybody who's tried to transition into a new career, you have to network. You may it may be a completely new field for you, or making those connections, making your voice heard in a market, finding resonance, finding out what works, what doesn't work. I think those have been challenging. And then also, for anybody who's a creative, sometimes you are, especially if you're a creative where you're public speaking or you're front and center, you are your brand.
Okay.
So it's not like you just work behind the scenes or something and then get paid, and then you are your work to a large extent. So transitioning to having it to be myself, sometimes you can feel a little bit shy and you have to just be like, no. And dealing also as an entrepreneur with rejections when people say no or they don't get back to you, and just saying no, I still have something that is worthy of being brought to the table. that
Yeah.
that can be hard, and you just have to be like, you know, to put an expression, an American expression, I'm going to put my big girl panties on and I'm just going to, you know, get on with it. So
Got it right. Okay. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the technology that you use to, you know, advertise yourself, put yourself out there? Kind of what's the instruments that you use to help you with your success so far?
well, I have a website which is antheaspeaks.com, which I spent quite a lot of time, you know, developing. I also do things on social media platforms, so I might release poetry from time to time.
What social media platforms are they? So that if anybody is interested and want to hear about Anthea Speaks, where can they find you?
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, although my Instagram's not as developed, it's something I'm still working on, but I do have an Instagram page as well. LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is a great way of, you know, connecting with other people in your profession. I also have, you know, mail shot schools. I'm working with schools. That's another way of advertising myself. I've got quite involved quite recently in my local community in Bedford, where you used to live, in fact, Jodie.
Yes.
And
Yes,
and you know, in the art scene as well.
okay.
And you know, connecting and making projects with other creatives as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Right, okay. So do you use like SEO, that kind of things as well to help promote your website?
SEO, is that no, say that, what is SEO?
SEO is search engine.
Oh, SEO, search engine optimization.
That's it, yes.
Yeah, I've spoken to I have some contacts who I work with, and we've talked about that. And no, I haven't been using that, but I definitely think that that is something for me to do in the future.
Yeah, just to help put you out there or get your website out there on the market more, really. Yeah. Okay, so you use social media, your website, Anthea Speaks, and you're going to look about social SEO and
And I've
advertising
been
campaign.
mail shotting companies as well. You know, that's something I've been doing, sending, you know, emails to people and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, what about any advertisement campaign? Any campaigns that you're maybe thinking about as a way of getting your Anthea Speaks out there as well?
I am thinking of doing one actually, but
Oh,
I am. It's really interesting you say that. Yeah, I do want to do one, especially seeing as it's January. You put, you know, advertising campaign, because what I do is I go into schools.
yeah, you did mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, and talk about mental health through poetry and loss and life and you know, and literacy and just a range of being Black, a range of different subjects.
Yeah.
But you know, and I think it would be benefit to more schools if they knew about it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of do a big advertising campaign. I just want to just check that my pricing is because I've got a whole schools page on my website, but I'm just checking on the pricing, etc., etc. You know, because I'm still relatively new within doing things in schools. So I'm
Yes.
just
Yes.
checking on that, and then I'm going to be launching that as a campaign.
Okay, that sounds fantastic and interesting. And also, I know that which I'd love for you to tell us about, because you went on a business, I can't remember the company's name now, where you was talking about diversity and helping the workforce have a drive to carry out their work in a better way. Do you want to talk about a little bit of that as well?
Okay, all right. So I worked for the Care Quality Commission.
Okay.
And I, you know, was talking about the fact that, you know, so many people struggle with mental health while being at work. And so I did a whole series of poetry, and that was kind of a workshop as well that I did. I also, I think you may have also, it might have been referring to my work with Ernst and Young, where they were doing like a big conference, and I kind of did poetry to end the day and kind of inspired them to kind of, team, we can do this. So I interviewed lots of people and then put a poem together based on the things they were saying, and put that out there.
Yeah, I love it. That's a good way, and that's something to kind of probably put in as way of your advertising, your campaign as well, in terms of what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's really important to have you know, the testimonials from companies, so I make sure that those are on LinkedIn, on my website. you know, so that people are aware. I've also been on radio as well.
Okay.
Had a few
What radio
different.
channels have you been on?
I've been on, you know, Adventist radio,
Okay.
where I think they played the poem, one of my latest poems they had on there, which I wrote for Black History Month, and we were discussing some ideas from it, etc. So I got to be one of the guests on the show, and another time they just played it by
Fantastic.
itself. Yeah.
So using radio to get Anthea Speaks out there as well.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Sounds great. Okay.
Yes.
So how has your journey impacted on your life and your family life as well? Because I know that you've got three, young boys as well, and you're married. So how has the journey impacted on yours and your family life, would you say?
I think that's a great question, Jodie. You know, I've gone from, because I had the privilege, I think, of being at home with my three young kids for a while. My youngest is 2, and so I'm transitioning now from stay-at-home mum to working mum, and I think that is definitely a transition.
Absolutely.
I have, my 2 eldest are now in preschool, just part-time, very part-time, but at least for a few hours every day. And so I'm having to section my time more now and think, okay, mornings, that's my work time. Afternoons, that can be more geared towards the family. You know, I'm also proposal writing. So I'm putting in a bid to the Arts Council for a grant to do some work here, some work in the local community, which in and of itself will be some advertisement for myself.
That's another way,
absolutely, because you'll get known I have meetings this week with the biggest arts organisation in the area, who are what we call a national portfolio organisation, who want to partner on one of my latest projects.
That's great.
So that, and that's getting my name out there. And as you go to different organisations in the area, oh, okay, you're known. So somebody else said, oh, Anthea, we'd like you to Anthea Speaks to do a project with us. So I'm getting out there, but there is a balance between, I've still got a young family, so there is a balance, and I don't want to be working full time. And I think working as creative gives me a little bit of flexibility with my time to be able to do that. I can be creative at 4 a.m. if I want.
Absolutely. There's no specific time when Anthea Speaks to come alive and get that creativity and that notion going of those different ideas and thoughts and all those words as well.
You can get inspiration at different times, but I think sometimes poets and creatives are seen as whimsical. They're sitting around with feather quills, just writing, and actually it is solid work. You need time to sit down, to research, to write, to revise, to edit your work. All of those things take real time
and dedication.
And then I have to perform or practice performing and then perform, and those things have deadlines, and people who want that output, you might need to record it as well, so if you're talking about equipment, we're having to upgrade a lot of our equipment to facilitate having to do some of this work, because one of the things I want to do is a podcast as well this year as part of the project that I'm going to be doing, but also that will be a way of advertising myself. So
definitely
I'm building on the successes, but I'm hoping to build on the successes of last year, this year.
No, well done. You've come a long way, since it started. So well done, and I can see great things is going to happen for 2023 as well. So we're praying for you and thinking about you, and keeping our fingers crossed that everything goes well.
Thank you.
So right, so my final question is basically, if you were to start again, what would you do differently? Is there anything that you think, oh, maybe I want to have done that, I would think about doing this instead? What would you do differently if you were to start again?
Oh, Jodie, what would I do differently if I was to start again? I think actually, being media savvy is so important. It's so important, and I have struggled, I think, with some of those. So you're asking me about my Instagram. I would have a social media manager
Ah,
I
yeah.
think I'd have a social media manager who could help me with that, and that's over a variety of platforms, because they
Yeah.
can help to push you and to guide you in being able to navigate your journey. Because being somebody who I used to be a teacher back in the day, or working in the social services sector, it's not about social media and advertising your skills on social media per se. So I think that aspect of it has been quite overwhelming for me on time. And at time, and online everybody looks fantastic and is amazing, which is how they're supposed to make themselves look. But it can be, it's like, today I'm on my millionth day of my tour, and and you're like, and I'm where they're wearing their Gucci and their Prada, and and actually they're taking it back to the shop afterwards. But it can be quite intimidating, and having somebody help you navigate and connect you in with the right groups and the things that are actually going to be beneficial to you, I think would be helpful. So I would try to get the basis of all of that sorted out at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Is there anything else you think, or you happy with how things have gone so far?
Well, there's always more things that you could do. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I think that I would change. I think I would, and I'm learning to do this, that if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to not take no's personally, and you need to not take, or people not responding to you. I think at first, if somebody didn't respond, I was like, ah!
Yeah. What's happened?
Yeah. What did I do? After rejection, the shade. It's like, no, it's not. People are busy. They live in their lives. This may not be for them right now. That's fine. So I think you have to develop thick skin, be bold, and think, what is the worst? Am I being respectful? Am I being authentic? Am I representing myself and my brand? And if you push forward and keep doing that, then hey, I'm thinking of doing some bold things this year, like saying to maybe some schools or something, hey, I'm going to do this for you for a fraction of the price. Give me some feedback and give me some time with your head teacher. Those kind of things. And you might be able to build relationships. And Anthea a year and a half ago probably would never have done that. But I'm just like, I'm good. I know I'm good.
And you never know. You never know.
You never
Don't
know.
sit back. Just go for it and see what happens. Because you don't know what doors are going to be opened, really.
Absolutely. And not just working with schools, with corporates as well. I think I just need to get myself back out there and just be more bold again. And I think it's important, because sometimes people don't get as far as they could because they're fearful of the response. And you just have to be like, I'm good enough.
Like you say, put those big panties back on and just go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Keep being bold, and just don't be fearless. Just go for it.
Absolutely.
Just go for it.
Yeah, you got to.
Okay. Any last points that you would like to share or add from our little discussion that we've had?
If you want me to focus on something specific in, any last points? No, I think that's
it. Do you want to say again what your website is and where we could find you if anybody wants to contact you and invite you on into schools or corporate world or whatever? Do you want to just...
My name is Anthea, Anthea Speaks, and it's antheaspeaks.com.
Okay. And your Instagram page?
Anthea Speaks.
Oh, okay. Anthea Speaks. Okay.
YouTube, Anthea Speaks.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Anthea, for being our guest on HostRooster.com today. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And everybody, you heard Anthea Speaks. That's where you could find Anthea if you were interested in having her on your show, or having her in your school or in the corporate world, whatever it is, doing a poem as well, whatever it is, then Anthea Speak is where you could find her. So if you're an entrepreneur or a self-starter, an ideas person who's laying out your own paths, your own destiny, please let us know where you are in that journey. We want to hear from you and hear your stories. We want to share your stories with our audience. So please get in touch with HostRooster.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell. And thanks again for joining us. And until next time, take care.